Yo, what's going on, guys? Of course, the power went out. I have to make it to the draft. I'm in Brooklyn right now. Also, it's like the hottest. I'm from South Florida, or I live in South Florida, and it is hotter here in New York City than it is anywhere else on this earth. No, I mean, Las Vegas is hotter, but either way, I digress. This is going to be a quick final mock draft. The way that I see tonight going, if there, like, we'll talk about like potential trades and stuff, but I do have to actually get a move on here. It is 3:41. I'm probably like a 30-minute trip from, and I still have to shower and like change into like traditional garb. Either way, we all know first pick is going to be Cooper Flagg, the two-way phenom, left-handed Cade, Cunningham, Dylan, Harper. Spoke to a few of these, most of these guys yesterday, and at the NBA Draft Combine interviews are in the channel. Now, three, hey, I know that they're shopping Paul George and the third pick to teams, except from what I've been told, Brooklyn hasn't even been offered. So it seems like they're trying to offer that to get a culmination of salaries or a player that is better than just a salary dumping. But Edgecombe seems like he's going to be the pick. Four, I'm being told it's Kon Knueppel is going here. They like the connectivity, the two-way, and ownership, I believe, has like Duke ties, and people are saying that's playing a real big factor into that being a part of the consensus. Now, five, there's rumors Jeremiah Fears could go here, and I know Ace Bailey won't go here from what I'm being told. Tre Johnson, though, I just think they need a bona fide scorer. And I think Tre Johnson gives them that. And it allows them to fully move off of both Colin Sexton and Jordan Clarkson, or at least Clarkson, and then eventually Sexton. Six, I really think now at this point, they're saying that Ace Bailey won't make it past six. And after speaking to Jeremiah Fears, this is where, ma'am, I don't see Ace Bailey is Ace Bailey the type of guy that the Washington Wizards would take? I'm going to say he's not going to fall past here, but I wouldn't be surprised if they take Fears and Ace Bailey ends up on the Pelicans. Or this pick is swapped, Pelicans come here and takes Bailey, and then 7 is now the Wizards and they take Fears. But once you look at this, I think Kasparas, Jakucionis, or Jeremiah Fears would be the pick here for the Pelicans, especially somebody who can play point guard while DeJounte Murray recovers and is also able to play off of Zion Williamson. And I think because of that, they're going to go with Kasparas just because of Troy Weaver and Joe Dumars probably seeing what went on in Detroit and understand that they need more spacing when they already have one ball dominant player. And I don't think they want to repeat that with Fears. No offense to Fears. I love Fears. Really good guy. But he'll be better suited to go to a place like Brooklyn where he'll have the ability to iron out all his kinks. Now, Noa Essengue or Khaman Maluach. For the longest time, I thought Maluach would be going to Toronto. They would extend Hurdle, probably set it up to eventually trade him and have Maluach be groomed and be his successor. But now, it seems like Noa Essengue is like a really, really good option, or not even an option, a really big fan, or has really big fans, my apology, from the front office in Toronto. So I don't know if that's a guarantee that he'll go there. I just also think then you get too many cooks in the kitchens, and then if this team's trying to win now, does that allow Essengue to actually develop? So I'm going to stay with Maluach, and I think it's smoking mirrors right now with Mr. Essengue being the Raptors pick. I think it'll be Maluach. Now, I think 10, Derik Queen. Why? Or it could be Collin Murray-Boyles, but they just need a big man. Best big man available, Derik Queen. Here, I think they could go guard, but if Essengue is available Portland would take a swing on this because they don't have a true power forward. Yes, they have Tumani Kamara and Denny Avdia, but I think both of them are more 3-4s, not 4-3s, while Senge might be a 4-3 who could even play some 5 down the road. 12, I just really like Egor going to Chicago, regardless of what happens with Josh Giddey, because they're going to eventually have to trade probably Kobe White instead of paying 2 guys over $30 million in Kobe White and Josh Giddey. So this is just makes a ton of sense for them to take Egor here. At 13, they're going all in. I think Johan Beringer is the tall, lanky, Derik Lively-esque big man that they need to come off the bench as the third guy, with now Kristaps Porzingis, Onyeka Okongwu, and Mr. Johan Beringer. And then you can fill out the rest of the roster with pieces that will make the rest of this roster go. So at 14, if the Spurs keep this pick, this is interesting. I think they do go Collin Murray-Boyles because they just probably want to become psychotically good at defense. Now, coming in at, 15, if Carter Bryant's here, I think OKC would take a swing on Carter Bryant because of what he's able to do. Now, at 16, they still need a backup big man, or like a big man to go with Edey, and they're probably going to move off of Clark. I just see if Sorber's here, that's a really good pick for the Grizzlies. 17, if you're looking at the Timberwolves, Liam McNeeley fits like a glove. He can shoot, he can pass, he'll play on both ends. They need somebody like that. I like right here, we took Ace Bailey earlier for the Wizards. I think they would take Newell, just get a big man. I feel like he's someone that fits this organization's profile really well, and he'll be able to help them. So that's one that I like. Man, Cedric Coward has fallen, but this is where he would go. This is where he would go. Like, legitimately, he wouldn't go past Brooklyn right there. But I think those role players or team fits that would help them, or players that would fit those teams and their needs. So that's how it kind of went. Now at 20, I think Walter Clayton would be the guy that the Miami Heat would love. And he's talking about Eric Spoelstra. It seems like it could be a match made. Nique Clifford going to Utah at 21 does make sense to me. When you look around, I think that they took Tre Johnson. They're trying to start to be competitive. He kind of fills that middle of the roster. They have so many picks, Brooklyn, here, so I expect them to trade one. But I do expect Brooklyn to be probably the team that takes Will Riley. They're going to be able to take that swing. Danny Wolf would be kind of the perfect yin-yang to Yves Messi if they needed another guy at 23 for the Pelicans. 24, we're back on the clock, and this is where the Thunder will either, I think, take a draft and stash guy or go for a big man. And I think with the big man available, Renault could be that guy. I really actually like the idea of Renault being there, or Kalkbrenner. Kalkbrenner is probably a bit more of a traditional big, but either of them suit their needs. I think they'll probably go Kalkbrenner because of his defensive style and him being big, and they kind of want someone more like Hardenstein to eventually replace him. Over here, it's the Orlando Magic, and I kind of just love Jace Richardson. He does break the mold of the big guard, but his three-point shooting and floor spacing, I think, is something that they actually want, especially now Cole Anthony's gone. 26, Hugo Gonzalez is another guy that I think the Brooklyn Nets have the luxury of taking and trying to figure out. So I think that would be something that they're interested in. Next, again, if they were to keep this pick, another super athletic defensive guy with tools, Drake Powell, they're the type of team to be able to take a chance on those swings. I think a big man right here for Boston at 28 makes the most sense. Maxime Renault could be, a three-point shooting, floor spacing big man with passing chops and a drop coverage big who can rebound well. 29, man, we had them take Derek Queen earlier, and I think the point guard market here is they could go Nolan Traore, which could be seen as the best potential player to help them, or they could go Rasheer Fleming. And if they're trying to win, I think they would take a Rasheer Fleming and just get a point guard in free agency. At 30, Noah Penda seems like maybe could be like Batum's replacement, so the Clippers take him there. At 31, Nolan Traore goes to Minnesota. That seems like a good fit for them. And over here, I think Chaz Lanier going to Boston at 32 makes the most sense. They love three-point shooting. They have the luxury of that. Man, I've kind of really started to believe that Bojan Markovic could be a great pickup for the Hornets because he can actually coincide with this roster. And with Mark Williams right now being the big, he actually can play off of him. I don't expect them to keep both of these picks, but if they were to Knueppel and Markovic, I think they'd probably go with like Tyrese Proctor if they were to keep this pick, get a defensive guy. Maybe this is a little high for a Proctor, but Jameer Watkins going 36 or 35 to the Sixers just makes sense. They need a win now guy, and he helps them out. Man, they've taken so many wings here. They haven't taken a big, the Nets. And if they were to take a big, that's the problem is that I think Yannick Niederhauser is the type of big that they like, kind of like that Jared Allen rim running guy who can be a lob threat and a shot blocker that would help them. So he is quite possibly a good pickup for them there. Now 37, it's the Detroit Pistons, who, I mean, do they go Ben Serif at this point because they can develop him as a point guard and a shooting guard? And they're probably going to have to move off of Jaden Ivey at some point. And just when they have to start doing salary cap gymnastics, those are the type of guys that can help them out. Now, 38, it's the Spurs. So there's Thiero. Man, it is going to be interesting to see what they do here. I think they want someone to help them win. But, dude, I kind of like them taking Zakarsky. Imagine them just having two massive 7-footers on this team. That would be crazy. Thiero going to the Raptors at 39 makes sense. Now you have the Pelicans back on the clock. Man, they would take probably like a Cam Jones or a Sion James. I think they would want somebody maybe in the middle. I think Cam Jones just because he can play on or off ball and it would help them. I really like this Alex Tui going to a team like Golden State. I think Kobe Bryant is another option for them there at 41. At 42, if they are here, I think Kobe Bryant, they need shooting, the Sacramento Kings, so that should help them. The Jazz, they take a flyer on Hanson Yang. 44, Kalkbrenner, Carter Bryant. Who's the drafting staff that they could probably, maybe a Lachlan Ulbrich. Just tell them stay in Australia. If we need you, we'll call you. 45, I actually like the idea of Kobe Sanders being a Swiss Army knife going to a team like Chicago who will use him. At 46, I think a team that just, they love shooting. And when you look around, I know it's a limited market in terms of, quality shooters still available. But I think Dink Pate, just being a big guy, kind of like when they took Caleb Houston, just a guy with size who's willing to just bomb threes. I think that's what they want. The Bucks, everyone's saying it, and I agree. Take the local guy, John Tunje. They need scoring. He seems NBA ready. He could help them tremendously if he is able. Sion James, the type of defensive guy who can play multiple positions that the Grizzlies would love. Cavaliers, man, I do kind of like Javon Small. They don't really need a guard depth like that. So I think Micah Peavy, just giving them a defender Kenny Atkinson could use if they need to break the glass would be huge. Eric Dixon, they love their Nova boys, the Knicks, so I think they would take a flyer on him. The Clippers, if Janai Broom's over here, they'll take him, be a backup for Mr. Ivica Zubats. 52, I mean, they didn't take a guard earlier. Javon Small's still available. The Suns take that. 53, they've gone multiple players. I think they could go for a guard like Hunter Salas who can play multiple positions. That'll help them. If Amari Williams, Vlad Golden, I think they'd rather go Vlad Golden, honestly, if the Pacers are there. And Amari Williams would be the pick, I think, for the Lakers if Vlad isn't still there. The Knicks don't have this pick, so we're just going to put Abdallah because he's not in the draft. At 57, they took Sorber, they took Sion James. Man, they love their short guys. Ryan Nembhard makes a ton of sense to me here. And at 58, I mean, they're a team that has in the past gone after, size, and Victor Locken could be someone that they'd be interested in at the end of the draft. I think RJ Lewis, again, they're trying to be a win-now team. That's the type of thing the Cavs would take. And if they do keep this pick, they could go for an overseas guy. But I like Tamar Bates. He's a toolsy guy that I think will help them. This is my last mock draft. Sorry for making it quick, guys. I do have to run, but that's it. I hope you guys did enjoy. It was a good cycle. We'll start the next one soon. But I need my brain to recover, and I got to get ready for the draft. Bye.